Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your full-time fans react show. I'm your host, The Gov. This is the show that we say, right, it's your turn to have your say. It's your football team. It's your platform to have your say following a 2-0 win. A red card for Kane Vincent-Young. Caden Jackson getting in on a good pass to set up for Wes Burns' first. But Wes Burns on Burns' night coming through. So we want to hear from you. There's a live chat. There's a live link about to be dropped into the chat. Come on the show. You don't need a webcam. You just need something that will pick up your voice. A microphone, they traditionally call it. All phones have them. Tablets, computers, whatever it might be. But this is your chance to have your say. Before I go any further, and while I let you all pile in to the Talking Town Tavern, while I wait for Steve and Neil, if you do get value from what we do here at Talking Town, then please do consider becoming either a YouTube member or a Fifth Stand TT Ultra via the use of our Ko-Fi. $4.99 a month is what the tiers start from, which is makes every show, well, the 4 shows worth 32p, with shows like this one, the Away Day Guys, etc., all thrown in on top. You can't get magazine subscription stuff for that these days. So if you do want to do it, do what EJ Norris has done here, become a YouTube member, or you can, of course, go to our Ko-Fi site and donate on a one-off basis or a regular amount there. Let's get some comments. We've got Harry, playoffs, here we come. Mike D, KVY is not figured as a left wing back anyway. We need to buy someone. I didn't realise Penny was actually injured. Brenner helpfully telling us there towards the end of the show that end of the game that he was. It's almost set up for him, isn't it? Matt Penny. It's now the table is ready, despite the injury. I can see him suddenly becoming fit. It's Hillsborough return to where he was this time last year. Players normally do put in an extra shift on their old patch. Stiggy, welcome back. But Andy, nice revival from these early Wimbledon pressure. Simon Hall, great second half. Well done, boys. Mike D, wins like that are how you get out of this league. Dig in and take your chances. Ridge Boy, we didn't play fantastic. However, we have found a way to win. That's something Town often do not so pleasing in my view. It really is. £20 from Duncan Farrow with the YouTube Super Chats. That is another option. You can do what Big Dunk has done. He is a man. He is a myth. He is a machine, ladies and gentlemen. He dug deep. He has pulled it out of the bag, similar to Wes Burns this evening. Thank you, Duncan. If you want your comment on the screen, do use the super chat option. Welcome back, Steve. Link is now available. Kieran McKenna, absolute genius, Steve, because the selection eyebrow raiser, well, it paid off. We've won. We've won compliment. Yeah. What did you make of that second half?
It was a tough watch at times. It was scruffy. It was dirty. It was League One. But yeah, I'll take the result. The 2 goals from Burns were absolutely fantastic. I loved for the first goal, the pass from Jackson to Norwood's little turn, and then that's the one good thing Jackson did all night. And then that little turn from Norwood to Burns was just absolutely fantastic. That was beautiful.
That's all he's got to do, though, Steve. Literally, that's all he's got to do, isn't it? We're there to win the game. We're there to score goals.
Well, that's it. I mean, Norwood and Burns. Well, Burns more so than Norwood was fantastic tonight. Jackson was anonymous, obviously, for the game, but that one good thing, I wouldn't say it redeemed him, but it helped. And
it did. I want to shout out Jeremy, who on Monday's show, which was last night, Christ, this week, was last night's show. He said Burns hat trick. He was nearly so close there, Steve.
So close. He almost got it, and it was brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, that was a fantastic display. That's what we want to see from that. And Wimbledon, the start of the second half, were all over us, and it was looking like it was going to be
should have been a goal up, shouldn't
they? Yeah, for sure. It looked like it was going to be a long and painful second half. So
it did. It really did. But I've written one word down here through the game. Genius. Genius from Kieran McKenna tonight. Raise eyebrows with his selection, but he pulls it out of the bag. Simon Wall, love it. Burns obviously man of the match on Burns night. Michael, I never understand why we don't play Edwards, similar as Burns. Great pace and runs through the back line. Simon Harris, professional performance, 3 points, desperate for a left wing back. Vincent Young, awful throughout, summed up by the red. Owen, ugly game in many ways. Potential bananas getting avoided. Burns, terrific. That also looked good for them. Yes, he did. He was running in ragged. Paul B, great result, but going to have to play better against Wednesday. The media mogul, ladies and gentlemen, is on the post-match fans react show. Fueled
I'm too
with
close.
the wine. Fueled with Romanian red wine. Hey, I'm doing very well. 2-0, and we've got a genius in charge, Matt. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I mean, I was nearly dropping off in the first half. I ain't going to lie to you. But second half, very good. Where would we be without Wes Burns, eh? On fire. Pardon the pun. On fire down that right-hand side.
It's got to be the best summer signing we've made in a while, let alone last summer.
He was the first signing as well. Have I got that right? Was he the first?
I think he was. Yeah,
he was.
But the underwhelming one, if you composed the list back in August, you wouldn't have put Wes Burns as the player he is today.
I seem to remember we was excited by him because the goal he scored on the last day of the season was still kind of fresh in our minds. And
true.
I know we had. Who was that guy who came on the show that time? Craig. He said that number 7 at Fleetwood was good. We had to go and look up who it was. Wes Burns.
True.
I mean, I just wish we could find someone down the left to match his work rate. Because as soon as you got the ball out to the right, you think things are going to happen, don't you?
You do.
2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals. Again, he's on fire. You say you want to find somebody down the left. Somebody in the chat suggested Carl Edwards. Is that a possibility, do you feel?
But yeah, certainly pace-wise. Whether or not Edwards has got the delivery, I don't know what you think, Steve. I don't think Edwards has got the delivery particularly.
No. The pace is there, and the technicality is good, but he needs that final end products.
Which is probably why he's at us and not West Bromwich Albion.
Very true. Very true. KVY at the end, bit of a sour taste in the mouth as we leave.
Look, I'm a huge Kane fan, but he's lost his head there. I mean, literally, 20 seconds before the final whistle blows? I knew he was going to get sent off on that. I mean, the ref could have been a little bit lenient, I suppose, but by the letter of the law, he had to go for 2 yellows, and now he misses Sheffield Wednesday.
2-0 up as well. Was it a tackle he had to make, do you feel?
I was thinking that myself. I mean, he's probably instinctively stuck out a foot, knowing the guy, had he not, the guy would have been on the edge of the box. But you have to think the game was 1 or 2-0, and you kick off and the game's over if they hadn't scored. But he did it, didn't they? So there we go.
Freddie Fandamo, so good to enjoy watching Town again. Burns is sexy football. 4 wins in 5. 4 wins in 5, Matt. Wednesday on the horizon. Is it on? Is it on, this charge up the table?
Well, I mean, look, we have said all along, haven't we, that Town could put a run together. Easier said than done. You're suddenly on the periphery of the playoffs, and we are now. I mean, look, MK Dons, 47 points, 28 played? We are 6 behind them now. Now it feels like we could do it. I mean, I've kind of written off our chances because I always thought 8, 9, 10 points was too much. But now with 18 games to go, 6 points behind, really good. But we've got to just keep the momentum. You don't want to go to Hillsborough on Saturday and lose.
You've got to go and win. You've got to go and win. I don't want any of this point nonsense after 2 6s. Because a win on Saturday, Matt, that league table come Saturday 5 o'clock could literally be heaven for us for a long, not being this close in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And the GOAT, I think, told Rich 2-0.
Yes, he did.
So
yes, he did.
He's got that right on Richie's birthday, so that's all good. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, there's nothing better than momentum, is there? And we said on Sunday, to quote Paul Lambert, you want to be the hunter rather than the hunted. And now MK Dons are looking over their shoulder a little bit at us. But I do. We definitely missed Morsey tonight, didn't we? Definitely missed Morsey in that middle.
Oh yes, for sure.
I think Backerson done all right, didn't they? That ball in the first half, just over the back 4 for Norwood to run onto. That was a lovely little pass, beautifully weighted. But whether or not how he found playing with Carroll, I mean, you thought he was a bit anonymous, didn't you, Martin? Carroll
didn't know he got the buffs. To be fair,
yeah, he's a funny player now. I don't really know what he brings to the table in terms of
not a lot.
Yeah, I feel like he might be surplus. He can only be on a year's deal. He could be surplus in the summer, I think. He's not a tough tackler, and he doesn't seem to put in the killer pass for any of the goals, does he? When he's got that opportunity. Let's not forget, in a game he should have shone at Barrow, got hauled at half time.
You did. Backinson, do you feel he sort of tired towards the end there, Steve? Because he was looking good first half. You and Neil were raving about him. Second half, maybe a little bit inconsistent.
I didn't really know what to expect of him today, but I think I got more out of him, or I saw more than maybe what I thought. He was decent. He was solid. He's a big bloke, isn't he? Looking at him compared to some of the guys around him. Yeah, he's a tall bloke, and the shot at the end was brilliant. Went steaming out of the place, but that was fun. Just sod it. Why not? You're 2-0 up. Have a go, son. But he was looking all right. I think it could be, obviously, give it a couple more games as well. It'll probably be, sort of dialed in quite nicely. But
absolutely,
of him and Carroll, I was expecting Carroll to be the one to sort of lead it more, but no, it was definitely Backinson. He was one of the standout performers, I think.
I'm just looking at the fixture list, Matt, and it's setting itself up nicely for a little showdown at MK Dons, because we get past Wednesday with some positive momentum. You've got Doncaster and Gillingham. Gillingham at home, Doncaster away. Both incredibly, on paper, of course, winnable games.
Yeah.
And then you've got MK Dons away. That MK Dons game, suddenly, if you do what you need and should do on paper, that could be a bit of a showdown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you couldn't ask for 2 better games, could you, to come back to back in the bottom 2?
No, you really couldn't.
To set yourself up to playing a team in the top 6. Yeah, absolutely. Look, if we can't put together wins against the bottom 2, then we've only got ourselves to blame. I mean, it's easy. Saying what I just said just a minute ago, easy said and done. Look at the start of the season when we thought we might cruise it, and we got 1 point from 9. So never say never. But yeah, I mean, you're right, mate. It's beautifully set up for us. But I think Saturday will be tough. Let's not get away from that. I think going to Hillsborough is going to be a tough game, and going to MK would be tough. But
absolutely,
you don't know.
Special mention for Walton.
Yeah, played well, didn't they?
Another good save tonight.
Yeah,
kept it at 1-0, I think.
Yeah, did decent. We did get lucky. I mean, Steve mentioned it earlier. I mean, what was it? The shot hits Wolfenden, hits the post, and bounces out. So we did get lucky. But then, under Paul Cook, that probably would have gone in, wouldn't it? And we'd be like lamenting our luck.
Absolutely,
McKenna,
we would.
The ball's bounced back out into the box, and we've cleared it.
I'm just enjoying this vibe I'm getting from you, Matt. Because normally when I see you on a post-game fans react show, you're spouting. It's embarrassing. It's this. It's that. I'm getting some good vibes tonight from you, mate. It's a positive. Suddenly we're looking alive again. We're coming off the intensive care unit and we're being moved to a ward.
Yeah. And, contrary to popular belief, I do quite like it when I get proved wrong. Because I was saying I think we've got too far back. But the proof is in the pudding. They've put back-to-back wins together. And now the playoffs is on the periphery. So, yeah, fair play. It's good. I mean, we probably would have either drawn or lost that game under Cook and probably Lambert. But really kind of like, again, you're seeing... I mean, you're seeing the flexibility of McKenna, aren't you? No one thought Caden Jackson and Norwood would start the game. Suddenly they combine, and Steve is absolutely right when he says that turn from Norwood was brilliant, because he wrong-footed the defender, who I think he thought was going to play a 1-2 with Jackson, and suddenly the ball's gone out to the right, hasn't it?
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Were you caught out by the selection? Do you feel that it was McKenna being smart, looking at what Wimbledon don't do well, and putting a team together that would do it?
Yeah, I'd have to presume that's the case. I mean, he's shown that he can change game plans, and Paul Cook would have played 4-2-3-1 and just done the same old. Yeah, I think they are looking at the opposition and seeing what strengths we can put in there to nullify them. They weren't a bad little side, were they? That Osu was good, wasn't he, the right back? And I think the Moroccan kid who was the number 10.
They've always had a couple of decent players, Wimbledon. I've always liked Walker Peters, always liked him. You say Paul Cook. I have to say, Steve.
Oh, Guinness Walker.
Guinness Walker. Well, I have to say, Steve, managers in general, the old school type, it's always been about what they do well. Look, we're a 4-4-2, we're a 4-2-3, and we're a 3-5-2. This is what we do well. You beat us. We're going to do what we do well. Whereas McKenna is all about, you don't do this well, so we're going to do it today. And you're going to have to try and stop it. And if you can't, it's going to be a bad night for you.
Yeah, I do like that. It's refreshing, isn't it? Because we've had, obviously, Lambert and Cook are very much the old school, even probably McCarthy as well. We never really saw enough of Hurst for that. But it's nice to have this sort of young manager coming in he's refreshing with that. And it's an entirely different approach. And it is, like you said, Matt, it's sort of taking us out of, well, I think you said Mine actually, it's out of intensive care and into the ward. There's life.
Yes,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
It's a good
life in
analogy.
the playoff chance.
Different way of thinking, isn't it? It's a different way of thinking now.
Never seen it before.
Yeah, which is probably why he was appointed in the first place. So he probably feels like he's got that flexibility and freedom just to experiment a little bit and try different things, because that's probably what Ashton and co were looking for.
The content creator in me, the writer in me, would love an opportunity to drill into that team behind the man, because you get the feeling. This is there I go, free tidbit for the boys. You get the feeling there's a team behind this man that are at work 24/7, watching clip by clip, team by team. Just a whole machine now, Matt, behind this one manager that is it feeds into this machine, if you like.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, it's that new wave of thinking, isn't it? And like we say, under Cook, an older school manager, albeit with a good CV. Who knows what might have happened in that game tonight? Like I say, the Wolfenden deflection probably would have got in the back of the net or something. But the luck is with us, albeit not in red cards, maybe, but certainly goal scoring opportunities we've got. Lucky
It is. Matt, thank you for coming on. I'll let you get back to your Romanian wine.
I'm not drinking during the week at the moment. I'm on my little health kit. I'm gonna have a nice cup of tea.
You're on a health kick. You've got like 4% body fat. What do you mean you're on a health kick?
Maybe have a little celebratory one, mate. Why not?
Yes, my friend. Do it. Love it. Thanks for popping on. Enjoy the rest of your night. Andrew Plum, great 3 points, but didn't matter how we got them. Just important that we get them. Roll on Saturday. Roy Clark. I wonder if McKenna has someone in mind for left wing back, considering the weakness on that side. Perhaps there may be a signing before Saturday. Max Wardley. KVY is no better than Penny. Actually, Penny is better. Big shout from Max there, Steve. Do you want to pick that one up before I go to some more comments?
Well, neither have really set the world alight. We've never really seen too much of KVY on the left. Tonight he didn't do himself, mainly injuries, but tonight he didn't do himself any favours, did he? Which is a shame, because I was a massive KVY fan, and I do still like him, and he was a good footballer there, but I can't help but wonder how different would he be if he hadn't had that injury. Obviously, it's so easy to say. It's like Emma Hughes, isn't it? How different would that have been if he didn't spend so long on the sidelines? He could have stayed that player we knew. But
you could do a whole 1 to 11 of town players that what
really
could they have been had they stayed fit. Safety guide 20. The inconsistency is getting noticeably less. Just hope I don't jinx it. Norman Greenwald, could Coulson be fit for Saturday? He's meant to be be a week behind Santi in his recovery. Now that would be an incredible
that would be brilliant.
Bow to the arrow if Hayden Coulson could be back fit for Wednesday, because currently your options are Matt Penny if he can get off the treatment table, Bailey Clements, or a left wing, excuse the pun, left wing for left back in Edwards, or dare I say, I know Fisherman's out there somewhere, but Sant Selena at left wing back. Mike, what you saying? I know you like it. Andrew Wright, Edmondson was a bit too relaxed. Sorry, Steve, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's like you can't rule out another signing. We've still got time in January, and I think January's been a bit quieter than what I thought it would have been. Obviously, we've had an extension to Macaulay Bond's loan and Christian Walton. But yeah, I thought from how they were talking that they had more stuff lined up for January. So you don't know what's around the corner.
You don't. Mark,
just as long as it's Bailey Clements.
Well, Matt Stannard will say different. Does that bring in the potential United left back we're linked with? It possibly could. Yeah, there you go. Steve P, massive game on Saturday, but they're all massive games. Mr. Ipswich Town, how are you lads? Wimbledon are no pushovers, but we get the job done. We didn't give up. My God, got to give credit to Cook by Brian Burns. Top class. Callie says Neil looks different. Callie, yes, Neil does look different. He's gone missing. He is MIA. He has not read the messages. I can only presume he's got this thing called sleep, which he's fallen into because he is a tradesman and he does get up at the crack of the dawn because obviously that's when the light is available. So maybe the 5 a.m. start this morning caught up with him, Steve.
I reckon so.
Possibly. I don't know. He's not read the messages yet. So if you see Neil or anybody pointing back in the direction of his phone, Owen, that's Walton say was crazy when it's pinballing all over. Mike D, KVY never went on the outside once. Far, far too easy. Harry, McKenna is now responsible for 36% of our wins this season. He's been here for 5 games. Going to bring the mood down now, ladies and gentlemen, because this man is never positive. Stephen Parry, 36% of our wins have come from Kieran McKenna. Now, try and put a positive spin if you can, Steve. I know you'll struggle, but if you can.
He thinks all those Northerners are not positive, you know what I mean? I'm sat here with my cider, enjoying myself immensely. Let's be fair. When Kieran McKenna came, he told us what he was going to play. He said he was going to analyse the teams that we were going to play, and he was going to play a formation. I sat there, looked at the side, and I thought, what? Like we all did. But let's be fair, Kieran McKenna was right. We were wrong. You know, I know we scored 2 goals, but the changes came really after the 2 goals. You know, we probably would have got those 2 goals anyway. I loved Backinson. I thought he was quality. I really did. For me, he replaces Evans 100%. Because I just think he's got more to him than what Evans has. You know, when Morsey comes back in, I think it's Morsey and Backinson every day, because I just think he offers more than what he gets forward. You know,
that would be a sexy pair.
He puts
that
himself
would be good,
out, and I really like the look of him. To be honest, I think Coulson could be fit for Saturday. You know, like Hunter was saying, he was back on the grass the other week, so he's not far away. So he might be fit for Saturday. Maybe he's worth the risk. I don't know. You know. Or maybe that Fernandez guy from thingy. Or there's another one that we might throw out there, Ethan Hamilton. He's a left wing back. McKenna knows him as well. He was having an chat with him at the end of the game, wasn't he? We
all know. Yeah, we all know Hamilton.
Would you rather him on your side than not on your side?
Oh, the more shit houses you can get on your side, the better. That's what I'm all for that. I'm all for
it's a left wing back as well, so it worked wonders for us at this moment in time.
Absolutely, yeah. He scored a great goal at the weekend as well.
The top and bottom of it is, I'm not looking at what it is we're doing. I'm looking at what it is we're getting. We're getting 3 points. I'm more than. I don't care if we play our 18-year-olds. If we get 3 points, I'll take them every single day of the week. Yeah. If we could just get a draw on Saturday, that'll do me. They don't get further ahead of us.
No, Steve. No, I'm not having that already. No, Steve.
No. This is not being negative. We're away to a contender. If we just get it, I'm saying a minimum of a draw. Yeah. If we get at least a draw, yeah, they don't get any points ahead of us. And then we end up with Gillingham and Doncaster following up from that. You know, we're already ahead of them in the table. So if they don't beat us, we're still stay ahead of them, no matter what. You know, so the way I look at it is a draw is the minimum we should get on Saturday. If we get that, bonus for us, yeah. We can figure about the other ones, the Plymouths and the MKs, when we get to play Plymouth and MK, because we've still got to play them yet. But let's look at each game as it comes. And if we just have at least a draw on Saturday, let's remember we're losing Morsey, which is a big loss for us. Yeah. So if we can just get a draw, at least a draw on Saturday, you know, Gillingham and Doncaster should not be an issue. For God's sake, Evans got a hat-trick against Doncaster, for God's sake. Come on.
You don't like Evans, do you? You're not a fan of Evans.
I like him, I do. I really do. I think he's a great player. I just think Backinson's better. So if Morsey can get an hat-trick against them, who the hell can Backinson get? You know, let's be fair.
2 questions, Steve.
I think Morsey's suspension came at the right time. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. And I think it was extremely bloody harsh. And I don't want that guy back on this pod because he's an arsehole. Yeah? Because the top and bottom of it is we've got 4 games that he's missing. He missed tonight. He's going to miss Gillingham. He's going to miss Doncaster. We should win them games no matter what. The only one we're going to struggle with, I think, is Sheffield Wednesday. Now, I still think we can get something out of that because they're not exactly solid. You know, they're rooting around for defenders, so they can't be that solid. You know what I mean? So if we can get something against Sheffield Wednesday, we won't miss Morsey's suspension because I think we should be able to do Doncaster and we should be able to do Gillingham. You know, so it's come at the right time. If he was going to get a suspension, it's come at the right time. That's the way I would say it. But I'm delighted. I'm buzzing. I tell you what, I know Crunchy's bringing me Morecambe tickets. I'm going to be firing. I'm all over the place. It's lovely. I've had my ciders. I'm boozed up. We're getting promoted. We're getting the playoffs, and we'll be firing into the championship. Sod these bloody Northerners. Sod these Rotherhams and these bloody Sheffield.
What are you drinking, Steve? What cider are you drinking?
Cider.
It's something quite potent in there.
Yeah, what is it? What? I want some.
It was a mixture of this. It was this pack of like 8 ciders, and they were all different.
And what, you just put them all together? Bit of old Coke by it.
I think they're all pear ciders. They're lovely.
Oh, I like a good pear cider. Kev Sherwood, happy birthday to Richard Moss, aka the Cruncher, aka the Fish Cake. King, the perfect finish to your special day. Benjamin Michael, another solid game for Wolf again. Lee Anderson, 5 left wing backs at the club and none available. Dominic Mann, I think a little more time together. They may actually work in the middle to cover, especially as their first start together. Louis Felton, JD for wing back. Burgess slots in at centre back. Ben Moore. Carroll, no better than even Campo. All the ability, just passed it legs wise. Big shout there, Benny. On harsh on who? Which one? Carroll or Campo?
Carroll, because he has tried some balls. They don't come up. Some came off, some didn't. Yeah, but he tried them. I'd rather him try than not try at all. Yeah, I had some messages on Twitter that all he was doing was passing backwards. No, he wasn't. He played a lovely little through ball into the box that nearly created another goal. He's trying to get the ball forward. Let's remember, he's only played about 2 games since September. We can't expect him to come on and be like one of our best players when he's only had like 2 games since September. If he gets a run of games, he'll get better. The lad has got quality. You don't get picked up at Tottenham if you haven't got quality. There is something there. It's a matter of getting it out of him. If we can't get it out of him, we move him on. But give him a few games, see if we can get it out of him. I have no problem with the lad. I thought he played well tonight. And I think there was more to him than what people see. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can go along with that. Absolutely. Love your your passion and energy tonight, Steve. Stephen Parry, Stephen Thompson. I'm going to ask you something to pick up on what the Preston Pump there was talking about in regards to Morsey, because Dominic Mann comes back and says there's never a right time to lose your captain. And this is a funny league that you can slip on up on any of the lower leagues. Is there a right time to lose your captain? Obviously, you've got Wimbledon, Wednesday, Doncaster, and Gillingham. Is there a right time? What do you make of Steve's comments there?
No, there's never a right time. I think that there's a better time, or there's a more convenient time, of which I think this is it, because you never really write them off. It's like teams, Doncaster, Gillingham. You never know. You can't, like I say, you can't slip up. We've done that before in this league against teams which we should on paper be beating, and it's cost us dearly. Yes. But I think if he's going to miss any of the games, those are the games you prefer him to miss, really. Wednesday could be tricky, but they're in a bit of a state at the minute. We could have got away with that.
Can I just qualify my statement?
Of course you can.
I didn't mean I want him missing. I meant that if there was ever a run of games that we could miss him, now with the run of games. It wasn't that I want him missed. Sure. I think it was outrageous. I think it's an injustice, and I think the FA want up their ass. But the simple fact is, and Andy Holt wants a good kick up the arse. If he wants to know what a punch is, I'll give him one.
All views are their own and not. Andy Holt did not get Sam Morsey.
Yeah, my bloody views. If he wants to, if he thinks he's a northerner, come round. I'll show him.
Steve, what is the fuck's in that? Steve, what's in that cider, son? Steve.
I've got.
It's not Andy Holt's fault, Steve. It's not Andy Holt's fault.
Yes,
no, it's not.
That video was sent to Andy Holt from somebody else. I know exactly who sent it to Andy Holt. Andy Holt sent it to the FA. Yeah. So we know who sent it.
We don't know that. They could have seen the highlights. We don't know how. We don't know that for sure. That definitely,
because it was supposedly
we don't know
a different camera angle to iFollow, and the FA would have just seen iFollow, so they've been sent it from somewhere. That's what was said. So
they have access to all the cameras.
Somewhere. I'm not at the end of that. I said all along, I don't know. It didn't look conclusive to me, but I accept what the decision is. Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Don't sound like it.
No, I can disagree with someone. If he wants to rant on Twitter, I can disagree with his rant. If he doesn't like my disagreement, shut the fuck up.
Well, didn't he deactivate his account?
He's not my lord and master. If I want to disagree with him, I'll bloody well disagree with him. He might not like it, but tough shit. Doesn't mean I have to agree with him.
All right.
Simple fact is, I disagree with the decision, but I accept the decision. There's a big difference. Yeah. He disagreed with the result, but couldn't accept the result. There's a big difference. I accept the decision. He didn't.
All right. So, Stephen for PM says Lee Anderson. Max is absolutely pissing himself with laughter. James Mappin. So Martin, you got your win. Does that mean we win at the weekend? Well, on traditional form, James, yes, we play well.
Yes, we'll win on Saturday. We will win on Saturday.
But Steve says we're going to win on Saturday, so let's wait and see. Alex, welcome
hello,
in,
boys.
my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. That was happy with that.
Yeah, big problems though at left back now. KVY suspended.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw something a little bit left field. Because obviously when we lost Burgess at Wickham, I believe, Cam Burgess came on and played left back. So he doesn't offer you as much going forward. But let's say I'm assuming it's a 1-game ban for KVY because it was 2 yellows rather than a straight red.
It's a 1-match ban, yeah.
So for me, looking at what we said about changing things up depending on who we're playing, if it's going to be Sheffield Wednesday and it's a 1-game thing, why not put Cam Burgess in there and give yourself that little bit more of a defensive element in what's going to be the harder game out of this run?
So what would that? I'm just trying to think in my mind. So Walton in goal, obviously. Then you'd what? You'd
Walton in goal, and then we'd potentially do a back three potentially of Edmondson, Danassian.
Oh,
and Danassian keeps it, and then but
would it not be better as Danassian as wing back on the left?
But
like Mick Mills used to be a right footer, but he used to play on the left.
Yeah, but didn't McGreal try and move Danassian over to the left-hand side and it didn't really work?
Good shout.
So
it's a good shout. Yes, he did look very out of place.
But am I right in thinking Wolf played right back, hasn't he, rather than left?
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting left field opinion. I saw you put it in the chat, and Danny Allen says Burgess good shout, and then Owen says good God, not as left wing back. So you got that split on the chat. I see you thinking though.
We're not saying that he's. I'm not comparing. Let me be really clear on this because I don't want to get into the whole sort of getting lost in translation here. I'm not saying that you compare KVY or Matt Penny as left wing back to Cam Burgess.
No, it's a good shot.
What I'm saying here, guys, is, and I'm putting this more to the people that are coming at, sort of disagreeing in the chat possibly. For 1 game, Cam Burgess fills that role and gives us more defensive solidity against the toughest game out of this run, I think. Because I think even if, let's say that Coulson is fit and is that the kind of, can you expect him to be in and up to speed on that game? So for me, I think, Cam Burgess came in and did well playing on the left when he did it. So just to throw in another sort of thing in the fire, because I don't like the idea of someone like Kyle Edwards or Bertrand Salina playing left wing back against a team like, if it was a team like tonight, say it's the other way around, and KVY got sent off against Sheffield Wednesday, and we're now going to play Wimbledon, then yeah, I'm all for that, because they're not going to give us that much of a challenge going forward. Whereas with Sheffield Wednesday, I think we're going to need to be a little bit more sort of defensively. We're going to get killed into more defensive action against Sheffield Wednesday than we have done against like a Wimbledon, for example.
Are we getting too wedded to a formation, which is what McKenna will not do? Do you actually feel this will see us change our shape on Saturday? Because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking a 4 at the back would look much better with Burgess at left back, because then you can play somebody ahead of him who's your attacking outlet, who hasn't got to worry about defending as much, because Burgess isn't going to cross the halfway line. Let's be honest.
I don't know, because we've been getting a lot of we've been getting a lot of width from our wing backs. Now
we have.
I want to turn it back to something. We don't know whether Coulson's fit. We don't know whether Penny's fit. We'll probably find that out on Saturday. But I don't mind if Edwards does play there for 1 game.
Yeah.
Because when he has played, he's also come back and defended as well. Even when he played as winger in the 4-2-3-1, he was coming back and defending. So he does know how to defend. Yeah. And with the 3 defenders, the fullbacks don't like, if you look at today, if you look on the right-hand side, Burns didn't really bother about the defensive side of it as much. He was letting Danassian take on 2 people and he was doing the attacking bit. You know what I mean? Even Mick Mills said that. saying that, he was just letting Danassian have two people, cover two people, and then he was just doing the up and down bit. So if that's what's happening, and we've got the three defenders to cover it with a defensive midfielder to come in to make four, then you don't necessarily need a defensive
True.
wide man playing in the left wing back role. That's what, because at the end of the day, let's be fair, Burns night is a winger and he plays at wing back. So we can have a winger playing at wing back on the other side. I wouldn't be against seeing Edwards there. I'd just be more concerned that Edwards doesn't have the delivery that Burns has. That's my only concern. I don't worry about him defending because he does get back and does a shift in defending. I just worry about the delivery. But I'll worry about the delivery with KVY. So, we're not lost there.
Fair point, Steve. Get back to that side of my man. I'll speak to you soon. Love it. Love the passion tonight. Love the energy. Mike the Fishman, with total respect, you don't place any left wing back. With total respect, Mike, I think you do. All right. No, I'm just a long running thing, me and Mike. I would. Owen Griffiths. Burgess would offer nothing going forward, though. We need someone to offer something somewhat similar to Burns on the right. Understand the point being made, but it would go wrong style wise for us. I'm going to come back to that with you, Alex, in a second. We'll get a few more comments, but just keep that in mind. Dominic gives us 2 more seasons and we will catch up Stokes, because Stokes is a Liverpool fan, I believe. Welcome in, Stokes 71. New member here, big Liverpool fan. Every person of the footballing family is welcome, so apart from a Norwich. If you're a Norwich fan, get the fuck out of the chat. So Stokes 71, welcome in. I'm pleased you could join us. We've got Max Wardley, as long as it's not a 4-2-3-1. Chris Wright, might there be some merit in keeping the same shape as tonight? We already have a makeshift midfield, just need to play tighter. Mike D, YouTube member Mike D, you can follow this man's lead by becoming a YouTube member and supporting your favourite ITFC platform. Edwards, if Penny or Coulson not fit for me. Going back to the point raised about Burgess not crossing from, not getting forward enough from Owen. Do you feel that you need that with the formation that we're perhaps playing at the moment? Is it an essential? Is it an essential, if you like? I mean, does Bailey Clements give you a lot going forward? Matt Penny does, but he can't defend. So. But does Bailey Clements, if he's an option, give you much more than what Cameron Burgess would?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because for Bailey Clements to come in out of the cold completely, then that would be a bold move. But then McKenna's not adverse to that because you've seen that with Caden Jackson tonight. I just. What concerns me about having, I think you can see a change in formation because what I think McKenna will realise is out of the Aki game and out of the Wimbledon game, I think he's going to realise that out of those 3, Sheffield Wednesday are probably going to be the one that would give you the most offensive threat, shall we say?
Yes.
So.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me to see potentially McKenna go a little bit more defensive, because that's the concern. I totally get the Edward point and the Sullivan point. Totally get that, but the concern that I think that would work against a Wimbledon or an Accrington Stanley or a Donny or a Gillingham.
Yes,
my concern is that out of the games we've got coming up, I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to be the most provide the most attacking threat.
Yes.
So yeah. I just think possibly you could see him go a little bit more defensive. And if I'm going to put a Carl Edwards or a Selina in left wing back, I would want to do it on a game like tonight, whereby where the challenge, the threat isn't going to be as potent, shall we say?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair.
And see how it works. I just have this. There's something in the back of my head that said we're going to need to be more defensive, because I think Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday are going to have more about them on.
Okay, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. They are going to have. You'd hope. Well, you would hope as a Town fan, but you'd expect them to have more about them, Steve, wouldn't you? At Hillsborough on the weekend. I've just just dropped the poll into the chat. Talking Town's man of the match. 4 options. If you don't think your one is there, let us know in the comments who you feel should be there. Stephen says, "Apologise if I was OTT. No offense to anyone. I'm just passionate for my club. Absolutely." And but his words are his own and not off the network or me. I stress. Got a lot of time for Andy Hill. Just not over this issue. Just not over this issue. Yeah, I'll come to you, Steve, towards the end of the show for your man of the match. Bring the GOAT in first of all. GOAT in the dressing gown. Look at this league table, Colin. Look how sexy it's looking on a Tuesday night.
Told you so, Gov.
Oh, I love that fight and talk. Talk me through it, Colin. You did tell us. Tell the world again. Preach.
Martin, I only fight people I don't like. No. Look.
What?
I hope you took that the right way.
I did. Well, I did.
Look, we spoke about what, 2 months ago, all of us.
Yeah.
And I talked about the snowball, and that little snowball, it's got as big as a cricket ball, then it's got as big as a bowling ball. Now it's probably got as big as a football. And it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I've also spoken about the fact about our squad, and I mean it. This squad will see us through, and I mean it. Right? We still haven't even got players back that we had playing 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and they will come back. Coulson might not play Saturday, but I'm sure he will be available in the next few weeks. Morsey will be available in the next few weeks. We've spoken tonight about, is there a good time for Morsey? Yeah, of course there's not. But I'd rather have him out when we've got 3 out of 4 winnable games, including tonight, than if we'd have been playing Plymouth, Wickham, Sunderland and Pompey. And I've got to give a shout out again. I'll tell you what, Aluko. Watching him with Andy tonight, I was watching on iFollow tonight. And I'm a big Aluko fan. I mean, what that bloke... Look, the only time he lost the ball tonight is when he got fouled, and there was somebody on the chat about when they hit the post. It was actually a free kick to us after, if you watched it back, Walton took the free kick. So dismiss that, because it wasn't an effort anyway, because it was a foul. It was the only ball that Aluko lost all night. Aluko keeping the ball is as good and better than anybody in our football club. That includes Selena. Aluko is a Premiership, in brackets, a Premiership footballer. He's got a Premiership brain. And I'll tell you what, everything, when he plays, everything, well, obviously, apart from, until when he went off, everything goes through Aluko. And I'll tell you what, we're a different side with him in the side. And anybody who thinks we're not are barking up the wrong tree, because he is quality in this league. Absolute quality.
I prefer Chaplin.
Well, but he's not as good a footballer.
Just as good, just as dangerous.
No,
got more.
Not having
it. About him. No, why not?
Not having it. Not having it. He's not as good a footballer as Aluko. I'm not saying he's not decent.
In what regards? What separates the two for you?
Aluko keeps the ball better than Chaplin, 100%. Aluko can score goals equally as good as Chaplin, 100%.
Hasn't done this year though, has he? Hasn't done this year. Chaplin's got more goals about him.
Well, yeah, he has. But look, Gov, I've not come on here to discuss 2 footballers. I've come on here to discuss our football club, who are on a roll, which I said we would be.
You did.
And we will continue.
I'm just drawing the point out, Colin. I'm just drawing the point out. I'm getting out of you what separates Aluko from the pack. That's what I'm getting from you, Colin. Don't have to. I'm not digging at you. I'm drawing the point out.
Aluko's, look, I'm going to leave it like this. Aluko's quality. in this league is absolute stonewall quality. And I would, there's certain games you probably wouldn't play a Luco. If I'm quite honest, maybe some of those games are obviously away from home. I'm not 100% sure he'll start Saturday, if I'm honest. But after tonight, I'm not quite so sure. When the lineup come out tonight, and again, you're going to pull my head off, right? Look, Kieran. Look, I'm a great fan of Kieran McKenna. Look, I'm not going to go over what I said the other week because I really, really meant it. I'll tell you what Kieran's got. I said, look, anybody who can say something before the event is a better man than a person with hindsight. Now, I said right from the start that Kieran McKenna is the man for us. I could see it a mile off. And he's still on there. He's still doing his little ways. He's still doing his calmness. He's still doing his little bits and pieces. And that man will get us where we want to go. Because he's got it about him, Gov. He really has. But what I've got to say about Kieran tonight, and do you know what? I can't speak highly enough of that man. Look, did he get away with one tonight? I know what he was doing. When I come home from work, I didn't go home from work at 20 to 7. Andy's face, when I walked through the door, I said, go on then, Andy, tell me. He knew the lineup. I didn't. He read them out to me, and I thought, oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Because I'm a great believer in what Bobby used to say. You win a game. You all right, go. You pick your best side. You pick a side. Look, whether that's right or wrong, I'm going to go on Kieran's defence in a minute. But like Bobby would always pick his best side to win a game. Now Kieran's done it round the other way today with Sheffield Wednesday in mind. He's picked a side that he thought and he knew, to be fair to him, could do a job and beat Wimbledon, but keep people like Bon, Chaplin, like you quite rightly said, Chaplin, Selena, fresh for Saturday, for arguably the biggest game. And it's worked for him. Now, my God, that side he picked today, because I'll tell you what, I know you are, but I'll tell you what, I'm no big Jackson fan, right? That side he picked today could have quite easily blown up in his face. But it didn't, is he got it right. And he did his substitutions at the right time. And like between Selena, Bon and Chaplin, who came on tonight, probably played 45 minutes between them. Mm-hmm. So it's worked, and it's worked big time. And he now goes to Hillsborough. A massive game in a fantastic football stadium with nigh on a third, if not a quarter of his squad, fresh as daisies. Well done, Kieran McKenna.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
We've got McKenna's great attribute is that he's calmer than all of us. He can see us in a good place over the coming years. Safety guy says, trouble is if McKenna does too well for us, high-level Premier League teams or Prem teams will be after him. 18 months and we are looking for a new manager again. Heidi, no one knows McKenna before Town and now he's the best. Let's wait a few
we can't do right for doing
God.
We can't do right for doing.
It's all opinions. It's all opinions. Who was your man of the match tonight? Go. I've got a feeling that you're going to say a Luco. Was it a Luco or was it somebody else?
No, I'm going to tell you what I said to Andrew.
Yeah.
I've got to go. Look. We're all saying the phrase, weren't we? I've been saying it around all night about Burns night. Burns was a 9 for me tonight. A Luco was an 8.5. I've got to give Burns a bit. Yeah, look, Burns was on it all night. Burns scored twice. 2 great finishes. Won us the game. A Luco kind of won us the game because he was always on it. He was always twisting and turning. And I'd have loved to have seen him score when he had one on that jinky into the box there. That would have really capped his night off. And if he'd have scored then, I would have gave him 9. But I'll give him an 8.5. Walton, as you quite rightly said earlier on, Gov, Walton kept us in the game at a very vital time. It'd have been an 8.5 again tonight for me. There was one or two players who played really well. I thought one person in the chat got it spot on earlier on, arguably not because of his yellow card, but I've got to say that was one of the not worst, but one of the poorest performances I've seen Edmondson have. Probably a good job he had it tonight instead of Saturday. Also, I'd like to say about KVY's challenge. What on earth is he thinking? Really? I mean, he could have just shoo him down at the corner flag, but there, these things, the rush of the blood on it, Gov, and
we all have them. We all have them. We all put ourselves on the line for the cause, as they say. But
what about MK Don scoring a 95th? My God! I'll tell you what.
Go on.
Sorry, I was going to say if they hadn't, because Andy was looking at his phone while he was watching on my phone on the iFollow, and if MK, which could have quite easily happened, had drawn against Burton, we would have had a cracking night tonight. Cracking night.
We would. But Alex, we're coming for MK Dons. They can run as long as they want. They can score 95th minute winners, but that will eventually run out. We are coming for them. Who is your man of the match tonight?
I'm going to go different. I'm going to go Backington.
Oh, okay. Tell us what.
Yeah, good shout.
I think to step into that role that Morsey was as that, sort of defensive midfielder, and having only been at the club a matter of days on minimal training, and to look as calm and collected as he did, he was filling big boots tonight, and he did it very, very, very well.
Very well said, Alex. Very well said.
Very well.
Thank you,
I think we worked out, Alex, pre-game that he's probably had one, maybe 2 sessions, because Saturday obviously was the game. He played a part of that. So Sunday would have been recovery. Monday, a little bit of ball work or a little bit of light work. Tuesday game. So he's not had long. So yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
And if the rumor the true that saying on Saturday he didn't even have kit as well, and he just looked like a calm head on young shoulders.
And another thing, Gov, I mean, obviously these are my views, and not of the show. Before you say it, I think I love you, Gov, and I wouldn't want to see you get fined or anything. But what I was going to say was what I would suggest, looking from the outside in, I would say all of this stuff that we're hearing down from Bristol City, which is very, very similar to what we heard about another person who came from Bristol City. I remember that as well. There seems to be sour grapes flying up from the West Country towards us every time somebody signs or works for our football club. And if that's the way they want to carry on, I mean, I heard from a very good source, and I'm not going to say it was, a very, very good source on Saturday, I didn't tell you, Gov, that if Bristol City had lost on Saturday, which they won 3-2, as we all know, Nigel Pearson would have got the sack.
But he's not bothered. He's not bothered, remember, he's not bothered, all right? He's not bothered. He's not bothered, though, right? In my face, not bothered. Steve,
not bothered.
Go on, Alex, very quickly.
And for me, just building on that point that Colin's made, if Nigel Pearson wants to throw sour grapes and say that this, that, and the other about Backington, if he wants to cast him off, he comes does the job for us, then it's his loss, quite frankly. And end of the day, you've got to look at it back into the young lad. Maybe he doesn't react well to that. To that relationship that he's got with Pearson, maybe coming down here and working with a young up-and-coming manager like McKenna, it's just a better fit for him. So, Pearson, stop worrying about our players, worry about your own, and we'll take them off your hands at the end of the summer.
Absolutely. Well said again. Steve, man of the match from yourself. The chat or the community have voted Wes Burns as their man of the match. Do you go along with that, or do you want to throw a new name in the same way the two lads have there?
To be fair, Wes Burns was very, very close for me. But I agree with Alex. I think Backinson, like I say, considering the time he's had has been so limited.
Yeah.
And stepping in to Morsey's role, apart from obviously the captaincy. I think he did very well. All I said before the game was I wanted to see a bit of consistency from him, and he did that and so much more.
Absolutely.
And that ball he played over the top into Norwood.
Oh, it's beautiful. That was beautiful.
That was a great ball.
Can I just say, Gav, what more of an incentive? What more of an incentive, Alex, Stephen, and Gav, could Backinson have than just listening only once to that audio from Nigel Pearson? What more incentive could he want? There's obviously something going on. There's obviously a bit of history there. There's got to have been for him to have said what he said. And let's face it, he said it because we all heard it. And if I was Pattinson, he's under a bloomin' good, arguably one of the best young coaches in this country right now. We're so lucky, Gov. And I'm going to shout this out to everybody, including Rich on his birthday, bless him. I'd arguably say for 35 years of age, we've struck gold. Like Matt Phillips said to me on the phone not so long ago, and I totally agree with him. I think we struck gold with Kieran McKenna. And I'll tell you what, I honestly reckon if they were truthful, I reckon there's even some people down the 140 wouldn't have minded him.
Well, possibly in the future that well be very, very true. At this point, obviously, I'm having just beaten Watford. Fucking sadly, shitty Watford. Yeah, I know there's always be one team worse than one. There we go. But yes, good points. Look, I've enjoyed tonight's show. It's been an absolute great time. Colin, Alex, appreciate you both for stopping by. Hope to speak to you again both very, very soon. All the best. Neil didn't make it back, Steve, but we did it. We powered through.
Plowed through anyway.
We did. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, the viewers, for stopping by. Hit the like button. You can support us by becoming a YouTube member or through our Ko-Fi links. Back tomorrow, 8:30, with some more reaction and fallout to this wonderful, wonderful win. It's nice to discuss wins, isn't it, Steve?
It feels strange. I could get used to it.
I could get used to it as well. It's just a beautiful thing. It just tastes so much sweeter on a Wednesday night.
I'm going to have to get used to it.
I hope so, sir. Tomorrow, joining me will be TJ and Lewis Robinson. Also looking ahead to the weekend. So we'll obviously take one last look back at tonight and look ahead to the weekend. Live tomorrow, 8:30. But until then, thank you for your lovely comments. Thank you for taking part in your show, because it's your platform. We can't do it without you. You are the wonderful people. Steve, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm off for a lay down. Joe, I got up this morning at 4:30 in the morning. It was just a nightmare. I know. Didn't know it was a 4:30 in the morning. Anyway, with care.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history, find out what we can be.